Western Sydney and get one or two projects going. And you need to be proactive. If you think of applications of mathematics that can usefully be applied to industry, these are the ones to try and get going. I mean, while statistics and operations research are obvious ones, they're not the only ones. And for example, Michael Barnsley at ANU is a pure mathematician who realised that his work on iterated functions and contraction mappings could be used to compress images efficiently. And to cut a long story short, he started a little business that ended up well remunerating both his university and himself. At Melbourne, one of our strengths is in statistical mechanics, and we realised that some of the models we work on could be usefully applied to traffic modelling. Through the good efforts of David Steinman, who's sitting here, we got a small contract with Vic Roads and subsequently another one with RTA in New South Wales. The people involved with that got a linkage grant out of that with the ARC. One of our researchers on the project got a future fellowship, partly I think because the ARC was so impressed that he was a mathematician working with industry. We organised conferences in the area, got people out from overseas. We also gave and still give PhD students and postdoctoral researchers an opportunity to become involved. And I emphasise that you need to be proactive here. Vic Roads didn't realise that they needed a statistical mechanics model. We had to go and tell them. But to that end, I think most organisations will respond well to a request from a university research group to a meeting in which the researchers ask to hear of the organisation's problems, and then maybe you'll have something to offer. The other advantage of a centre is it provides a wonderful point of contact to forge links with cognate centres internationally. At Mascos, we ended up having formal agreements with several centres in the US, in Canada, in UK, in South America, and in mainland Europe. This was very beneficial to us in terms of staff movement. We had a number of people who came out to visit us from those centres. We organised some joint conferences with PIMS, and it created opportunities for students as well. And on the area of education, as well as the education node that I saw there, which had the sort of honours classes and that sort of thing, I think there's a wonderful opportunity to get involvement into schools. We sent PhD students out into the schools, some just to give a one-off lecture, others to have a bit more involvement. We offered the possibility of internships over the summer for some talented students, and this is one way to attract top students to your students once they finish high school, which is always desirable. Finally, the role of an advisory board. One of the roles of the advisory board, as I see it, is to suggest activities along these lines, and your dean, deputy vice-chancellors and vice-chancellors, I suggest, are your best friends in making connections outside the university. They're more familiar with the movers and shakers in the extended community than most mathematicians tend to be. So you need to be nice to them. And presumably there is someone in the university hierarchy that is familiar with local industry and can help make contacts. And finally, the sort of outcomes that distinguish a successful centre, apart from the obvious one of a steady output of quality research, are, in my view, more and higher quality research because of better synergies, which results in turn in attracting more students and more collaborators, and this should translate to more ARC success in grants of all types. A more visible and vigorous research environment, as evidenced by more and better seminars, more visitors, the organisation of conferences. And these need not just be for the standard conferences for academics that we all love and enjoy. We found when Mascos was more involved in industry activities than it is now, we found the New South Wales government were enormously helpful in sponsoring business breakfasts. We ran one in OR, and as a result of that, we got a big contract with the company at that time who were building docks at Botany Bay. They wanted help optimising the movement of containers. As it happens, we just signed an agreement with Matheon, which are a big German industry and mathematics organisation, and as a result of that, 2 experts from Matheon came out to Australia from Germany. They stayed with us for 6 months to help out. They loved being in Australia, and that forged ongoing links with Matheon Several of our graduate students went and worked there. Several of their people came out to Australia. They did great work on the project. The UNSW Math Department and Melbourne University's department derived enormous benefit from their presence. And finally, a centre that is recognised initially internally and gradually more widely for its helpfulness and responsiveness. This is not only your best advertisement, but the best argument you have for growth. In summary, the university has shown good faith and commitment in establishing the centre. It's now up to you to justify that confidence and perform across a range of activities that attracts further investment and support. And I see the role of the advisory board as helping you to do these things, and in conclusion express the hope that you will be highly successful in doing so. Thank you.
Tony, thank you so much.